Hello, everyone. This is Maximum Change TV. My name is Dr. Philip Foster, and today I wanted to talk to you about what is wrong with the lawsuits against Uber. Now, I just read an article. It was in Wire magazine. I actually saw the online edition, and it was called Inside the Brand New Class Action Suit Against Uber. Now, a contractor or employee is what the argument is. What these contract laborers are saying is that the class action lawsuit really means that they are tired of being treated as employees, even though they're contractors. Now, here is the problem as I see it. Now, I'm not an expert on Uber by any stretch of the imagination. However, I do have a clear understanding of the future and where we're headed. By the year 2025, it's estimated that half of the working population, the workers that we have in companies, will be considered contract laborers, freelancers, part of the gig economy. So we're dealing with this problem with what is defining an employee. So here's my problem with this lawsuit. I understand what the plaintiffs are asking for. They're complaining that they're being treated like employees and that they want better pay, they want benefits. But here's the problem that I have with it. When they signed up for working for Uber as a contract laborer, they signed up as an independent contractor. They knew they were an independent contractor. Now, as I understand it, and I'm not an Uber driver, but as I understand it, you can pick and choose the hours and times and days and so forth that you want to operate as an Uber driver. That in and of itself defines you as an independent contractor. Now, here's the problem that I'm running into. Our laws have not caught up with this. Our government's not caught up with this. And so we're calling things, we're calling it something that it isn't because it's something new. We just haven't caught up with this. So here's the problem. They're looking for a $16.6 billion settlement. And I think that's crazy. Why would you go work for someone as a contract laborer and then say, wait a minute, you're not treating me as an employee, or you're not treating me right? You're treating me as an employee. I just don't understand it. So here's the problem. We need to change the way we understand what a contract laborer is. You're either going to be independent or you're not. If you want to be an employee, go be an employee. But do not sign up for a contract position and then say, I don't want to be a contractor. And I know that's not part of this argument, but the problem is we don't even have a firm understanding as workers as to what contract labor is what the gig economy is all about. So we are really having a problem. And I'm seeing notes flying up on the side here, and I do agree with you. We have an entitlement generation. Here's the thing. We need to put on our big boy pants and our big girl pants, and we have to act like adults. If you're going to be a contract laborer, you're going to be a contract laborer, and understand that you're not going to get benefits. You're not going to get paid full-time wages. You're going to get paid what you have agreed to be paid. This is part of an agreement when you enter into contracting. If you can't negotiate, then maybe you shouldn't be a part of that situation. Now, I've never used Uber. I've never used Lyft. I've never used any of those. I understand they're fantastic. Everyone that I've talked to and my colleagues that have used them have raved about them. I just think that we have a wrong idea about what this gig economy is about. By the year 2040, it's estimated that 30% of the workforce will be in full-time work. That means the majority of the people out there are going to be contract labor, self-employed, whatever you want to call it. We have to change our mentality of what the future is all about. So that means that we have to let go of these old ways of thinking. We have to let go of these complaints that we have about, going to work for someone as a contractor. And we need to, again, understand what we're going into. If you don't have the knowledge to read an agreement and be a contract laborer, then maybe you shouldn't be. Now, let me stop my railing against these people that are suing Uber and do the flip side. Companies also need to have a better understanding of what contract labor is, what they do, what they don't do. So just because I'm railing against those people that are suing Uber does not mean that they don't have legitimate arguments. So businesses need to get caught up with the times and figure out what it is to have contract labor. Because let's face it, we're only a few years away from having full-time contract labor within the ranks of our companies. What does that mean for us? How do we treat them? Do we require them to work 9 to 5, even though they're a contractor? Do we require them to take vacation? Do we pay them for vacation? All of these are questions that need to be flushed out before we get in the midst of this. We have a responsibility to understand what this gig economy is all about. So I do think that this lawsuit is kind of frivolous in a way, because these people did know that they were going to be contractors. In the other sense, there may be some legitimate arguments that they are feeling like Uber's expecting more of them than their contract states. Well, maybe in that case, we do need to have a legal entity say, you signed this contract with that individual, and now you're asking them to do more than the contract states. Now this becomes a contractual issue. Business Law 101. And so we know that this was a bad negotiated contract, and therefore you might be left out of that. Now, here's one other thing that we need to think about. Ubers out there and the Lyfts of the world that are facing these type of contracts. If you don't treat your contract labor well, they're going to go somewhere else. And the idea of having contract labor is to have a ready and accessible labor force as you need it in an instant. If you're going to treat your contract labor with disdain or treat them less than, maybe you create this environment where there's an us and them, where it's the employees and the contract labor. If you're going to create that, eventually you're going to have a hard time finding really good workers. And as I look at this future, we're heading into a knowledge economy. We're heading into a knowledge worker economy. We need to have access to workers quickly, effectively, efficiently, and they can be anywhere in the world. If we don't treat them well, we're going to suffer the consequences as an industry. Now, that's all I have for today. I really appreciate those who've joined me as I've done this really quick Maximum Change Minute. That is what I think is what's wrong with this lawsuit. I'm probably going to rail against this a little bit more as I see this coming out. The future is coming, and it's not what we expected. And if we don't start changing now, we're going to have some problems. You can reach out to me on MaximumChange.com. You can reach me through Twitter at MaximumChange. This video will be up on YouTube, and of course, it's being displayed here first and foremost on Blab. I'm really glad you're here and look forward to hearing from you. I hope you have a great day. Thank you.